Alrighty, now we're at our door. Your first door, you're gonna be nervous. That's absolutely normal, okay? Get the nerves out, is how it is. For like the first, I would say like 2 months, I was so nervous at every single door I knocked. But then after those 2 months, a couple more months, and then I'd be nervous like with the first couple doors I knocked, and then I'd be fine. And then now I don't care. Like, there's no nervousness. Some of you might actually have no nervousness to begin with, which is incredible, really good. But if you do, totally normal. So this is one I wanted to touch on. This video is not going to be script. It's going to be tonality and little tidbits when you're knocking, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is tonality, okay? So if they're an old person, try to be in their mind, okay? So if they're an old person, you don't want to talk too fast. You don't want to talk, you don't want to talk too like low because they might have hearing problems. You want to talk a little bit louder, and you want to talk a little bit slower so they can understand you. My bad habit, everyone has bad habits at the doors. My bad habit is when I first start, when I'm first getting my first couple doors, when I'm still a little bit cold, I rush through the pitch. And then I have a lot of times where people are just like, what did you say? And then they say it like 3 times, and then the sale is gone, right? So tonality matters. If they're old, lower, higher voice and slower. And then if they're younger, just try to be like more like buddy. You don't want to be like obnoxious with them. So if they're older, you want to talk about things like in the sale, like you want to talk about like how long have they been in the neighborhood, how it's changed throughout the years, blah blah blah. If they're younger and they have like a sports team, they have like a sports jersey or like a hat, like a Yankees hat, make small talk with that. Use your surroundings. Also, something else I wanted to mention: when you're on the doors, there's a little tidbit. You don't want to stand too close, okay? And I know it's like subjective, like I'm not giving you like 4 steps, 5 steps behind, but you want to stand, especially if it's a woman. Like if you see as a woman opening the door, try to take an extra step behind. So wherever you are, take an extra step. And like say you're the homeowner and I'm right here. This is a bit confrontational. You don't want any friction, sales friction, right? So standing right here is crazy. It's way too close. Standing right here, that's ridiculous. But you want to have like that sweet spot where you're more back, but like still like within a decent area. And also, tying on with this is you don't want to stand parallel with them, with your shoulders facing them. When you're going through the pitch, you want to stand a little bit like this. And another tidbit is a lot of times they're not going to open the door. They're going to want to talk through the glass. Try to ignore it as much as you can. But if they're like really talking to the glass and they're about to leave, just turn around to them and be like, oh, and then just like mouth with your mouth the script, but don't actually say anything. So it seems like they can't hear you because the glass is in between. Because if you try to speak louder and they can hear you through the glass, they're just gonna be like, go away. But if you just be like, yeah, we could help in a couple of the neighbors with all that, then they're gonna kind of have to open the door to see what you say, because they don't know. It could be something important. It could be like the house across is catching fire, just like watch out or something. You know what I mean? So it could be anything. Let's see. Yeah, we touched on that. Yeah, what you say in case of an objection, it's important. So like our objection overcomes, which is what we're gonna do in the next couple of videos. They're important. However, like it's more important how you say it. So not just how it's read, it's the tonality, the way you say it, what words you emphasize, what words you downgrade. Also how quickly you say it, right? So if they're just like, yeah, my husband does it, you don't want to wait like 5 seconds and then give your objection. You want to be right on there. It's like, oh yeah, of course, everyone's husband does it. The reason why they're kind of getting it done anyways, just because we're blah, 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 blah. You want to be sharp as a tack. You want to get right away. So yeah, that's all I hit on. That's all I want to hit on. I talked about the transportation vehicle in the other video. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know before the actual script. And if I forget anything that I want to add on, I'll put it in the script videos. So this video is done.